Coming up on Citrus TV News Live at 6, Chancellor Syverud says the school has hit its goal for service this year. But what about the 3 months left in the school year? He's aiming higher.
And dome construction crews hit a major milestone today. We've got a new construction update from the contractors.
Plus, the first in the nation primaries wrapped up in New Hampshire yesterday. We'll tell you how the vote shakes up the race. Citrus TV News starts right now.
This is Citrus TV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
The Syracuse University community will have to wait longer than expected to find a permanent provost. Good evening, I'm Gabrielle Caracciolo.
And I'm Carmella Boykin. Chancellor Syverud announced today in a University Senate forum that the search for a new provost would not begin until after spring break. Michelle Wheatley stepped down as vice chancellor and provost in January. John Liu is the new vice chancellor and will serve as interim provost until a new one is named. As part of SU's 150th anniversary, the American Red Cross is seeking 150 blood donations on campus. The Give-a-thon blood drive took place from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Barnes Center and Flanagan Gym, but you can still head over to the Life Sciences Atrium to donate blood until 7:30, and to schedule an appointment, visit the website redcrossblood.org.
The university is doubling their service hours commitment for the university's 150th anniversary. In an email sent to students this morning, Chancellor Syverud announced SU has surpassed the goal set for the fall semester. He wants students to complete an additional 15,000 hours this spring. And Black History Month events continue with an open mic night tonight. Poets and performers are encouraged to share their art from 7 to 9 p.m. It's part of an open mic series held at the Community Folk Arts Center's Black Box Theater. This month's featured performer is poet Cedric Bolton.
If you want to be a voice for the Syracuse community, it's time to start your campaign. Applications for president, vice president, and comptroller of the Student Association are now open for the 2020-2021 academic year. The Student Association, along with Citrus TV and the Daily Orange, will host a debate between the candidates of each position. For more information, see the email sent out by the Student Association earlier today.
The Syracuse University Abroad office is extending the summer application deadline. Students can apply through March 1st now. The program offers sessions in Madrid, London, and Florence. The length of the sessions vary from mid to late May until mid-June and even early July. To sign up, head to suabroad.syr.edu.
Everyone on campus can see the dome roof is under construction, but why and when will it be done? Citrus TV's Sam Oppenheim talked to campus officials about the process. Sam?
The dome is being redone. Obvious by with its omnibus signs. Oh, and the cranes that people are really for.
The biggest the steel metal bowl that's going to be around the dome inflatable roof, and it's being built as we speak.
I talked to David Warren, the campus planning, design, and construction.
And the crews hit the first milestone on the new structure of construction today. The first side of the crown truss is now complete. The final piece of the north side of system support for the new roof went up today. Crews spent the day installing the steel beam, as Sam mentioned. We apologize for the technical difficulties as well. Crews will now move to the south side to put up the other half of the support structure before March 1st, when the dome will close its doors for the year. We apologize for the technical difficulties. And Gabrielle, on campus, I know you've been in New Hampshire, but here it snowed a ton on Friday, but thankfully it's been melting away.
Yeah, when we came back today, it was almost 40 degrees outside, and that was a nice change.
Definitely. You can walk outside without your jacket zipped all the way up to the neck. But here to tell us if that weather will stay is our weather anchor, Walker Simmons. Walker?
Thanks, guys. Now, just being out here right now, as the sun's gone down, that's mainly the reason for that. Now, right now than we did this afternoon. This afternoon we saw effects of that going into Thursday. Looking at tonight, when we're going to start to see the front end of this winter weather storm, we'll see around 1 to 3 inches of snow going into tomorrow morning. It'll start off as rain from and into tomorrow morning. That'll actually turn to snow. Now, 1 to 3 inches, but that snowstorm won't.
We apologize for those technical difficulties. We'll have Walker in studio in a little bit to give us the full weather forecast. And a suspect in an ongoing Syracuse Police Department investigation is in the hospital. According to SPD, officers found the suspect at a Walmart parking lot in Camillus. They say the suspect crashed a vehicle as police officers approached. He was found with a self-inflicted gunshot wound and was brought to a nearby hospital.
Happening right now, the Central New York Solidarity Coalition is hosting a public hearing about lead poisoning. The Syracuse Common Council and Mayor's Office have announced they are in attendance in City Hall. They're discussing a proposed lead ordinance in Syracuse. The Syracuse Common Council will vote on the ordinance mid-April.
As the Central Square rifle team prepares to defend its championship title, Mason Hardesky reports their coach, who has been with the program for over 50 years. Mason?
The Central Square rifling team is coming off another state championship from last season. But on a team full of young guns, the one who means the most has been there for 54 years. Meet Paul Menjic, Central Square's coach since 1966.
The coaching started when I was asked to take the team. My predecessor was going on to teach at the college level, was going to be an English teacher. Principal came in, put the bite on me, and said, hey, you've helped the team out before. How about come on in and take over the team?
Ever since then, Coach Menjic has led his team to gold in tournaments all across the state. But as teams have come and gone, one thing has always remained for the 84-year-old.
Feeling of accomplishment, being able to have a target in front of you and be able to strike the center of the target. I'm competitive, and basically that was the draw. I like doing it. I like being competitive. Not always successful, but I enjoy doing it.
And that feeling has become mutual for the rest of his team.
There's a lot to learn from him, and he has so much knowledge that I don't think I'll ever be able to learn as much as he has.
He's funny, it's just fun to joke with him, but then he's serious when you gotta be.
But even after all this time and trophies, Menjic admits that he still missed his fair share of shots, like the time he tried out for Syracuse University's rifling team.
Did not make the team, and I did not go back to explain why.
Well, you didn't make the team, but I'd have to say it definitely worked out for you in the end.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
It's a good thing he stayed on the mark at Central Square.
Thanks, Mason. Coming up on Citrus TV News Live at 6, we'll break down the biggest winners and losers from yesterday's presidential primary.
Plus, why congressional Democrats are calling for an emergency hearing. Stay with us.
Dad, they took over my bedroom. Come on, come on. Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. Dad! You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
One in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, your plumber.
Breathe right into your foot.
Your plumber's masseuse.
Yes.
You, your dog walker, your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the CitrusTV newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at CitrusTV News, your campus news leader.
Let me take this opportunity to thank the people of New Hampshire for a great victory tonight.
That was Senator Bernie Sanders. He came out on top last night in the first Democratic primary of the election season. He clinched over a quarter of the votes.
The former mayor of South Bend, Indiana, Pete Buttigieg, finished in second. Buttigieg and Sanders were separated by just a few thousand votes. Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar also had a good night. She surprised everyone by coming in third place with just under 20% of the vote.
But Senator Elizabeth Warren and former Vice President Joe Biden came up short. Both Warren and Biden failed to grab any delegates last night, despite a strong showing in the first months of their presidential campaigns.
After beating out the other presidential hopefuls, Bernie Sanders said his political movement has momentum that stretches across the country.
The reason that we are going to win is that we are putting together an unprecedented, multi-generational, multiracial political movement. And this is a movement from coast to coast, which is demanding that we finally have an economy and a government that works for all of us, not wealthy campaign contributors.
After last night's results, the race for the Democratic presidential nomination is getting a bit tighter. 3 candidates dropped out after the primaries. Businessman Andrew Yang, Senator Michael Bennet, and former governor of Massachusetts, Deval Patrick, all ended their presidential campaigns. All 3 jumped into the race months after frontrunners for the nomination.
Congressional Democrats have called for an emergency hearing and investigation into the Department of Justice. This after the DOJ moved to reduce the recommended sentence of President Trump's confidant, Roger Stone.
Back in November, Stone was found guilty on 7 counts against him, including witness tampering and making false statements. On Tuesday, the entire team prosecuting Stone abruptly resigned after the DOJ's decision.
Also coming out of the Stone case, Attorney General William Barr will testify in front of the House Judiciary Committee next month. Barr will tell senators details about the case against Roger Stone and how the Department of Justice has handled it.
The latest on the coronavirus in China, the number of new cases has dropped for the 2nd straight day.
China's National Health Commission says there were just under 2,000 fewer cases from the past 2 weeks. U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention Dr. Nancy Messonnier says the decline in the diseases is promising.
This comes as China has put 60 million people in quarantine. Chinese President Xi Jinping says he promises tax cuts and industry aid to limit the damage to their economy.
And we may have seen some clear skies and sun today, but as this week progresses, there will be snow. Stay tuned for my full weather forecast to know how much to expect.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
We're leaving.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
All right, so we saw some clear skies today, some break in the clouds actually. However, as we progress into tonight, things are going to take a little bit turn to the worse. We're seeing temperatures around 36 degrees right now, and as tonight progresses, heavier cloud coverage is going to come in, and we're going to start to see some effects of rain and even snow. Like I said, we get into around 10 p.m. tonight, and this is when we're going to start to see this rain. Temperatures sit at about 36 degrees, so it'll stay just barely above freezing. But then as we get into midnight and even into tomorrow morning, it'll start to turn to snow as temperatures dip. So looking at tomorrow morning when you wake up, it'll be 30 to 33 degrees. Temperatures will be just right there at freezing. However, it will have snow coverage coming down in the morning, and as you wake up around 9 a.m. up until around 12, you should see about 1 to 3 inches of snow. And then looking at the rest of Thursday here, temperatures aren't going to get much cold. That really shouldn't be your problem. It should be the snow coming down. We'll see things definitely winter jacket worthy. For temperatures, we see 33 degrees, 34, and then around 6 is when we see right at freezing, 32. Now, as for snow, in total, the winter weather advisory suggests around 3 to 5 inches of snow. So it's not the most we've seen this semester, but it's definitely a lot. And then looking at the radar here just across the U.S., this is how much snow we're going to get. And this will carry into the 5-week forecast just a little bit, but I'll get more into that in my 5-week forecast. Right now, that's all I have. Sean, how are things looking in sports?
From what you need to know from the Dome, everyone on campus can see the dome roof is under construction, but why and when will it be done? Citrus TV's Sam Oppenheim is back and talking to campus officials about the process.
That's obvious by construction with its ominous and safety first warning signs. Oh, and the cranes that people are obsessed with. But what's all this really for?
The biggest exterior change is the steel metal bowl that's going to be around the dome, replacing the current inflatable roof. And it's being built right above me as we speak.
I talked to David Warren, the Associate Director of Campus Planning, Design, and Construction, about the road ahead. After March 1st, Warren says they hit the ground running.
The first step is going to be getting to that March 2nd day and turning the building over officially and completely to Hainer Hoyt, our contractor. That will begin the phase where they're preparing to lower the existing roof. In parallel, we're going to wrap up the crown truss over the next couple months here. So you're going to see that crown truss construction continue on the east and west sides of the building and make the connection here on the south side above Forestry Drive.
Then, phase 2.
The cable net and all the rigid roof panels that are connected to that cable net, and finally the arches and fabric center.
But what's the big question on everyone's mind? Well, it might be the crane, which Warren has some eye-popping numbers about.
Millions of pounds. It has 1 million pounds of counterweight alone. I think the total weight of the crane may be several million pounds.
Really, the question, as with any other project, is whether or not it will be done on time. Warren says so far, so good.
Absolutely, we're sticking to it. We're still on schedule for the first football game. On that day, we're going to have a building with a new roof on it, lights, sound, scoreboard, and ready to go for the first football game.
In more ways than one, a new and improved dome is on the horizon. Sam Oppenheim, Citrus TV.
Thanks, Sam. Coming up in sports, it's February, and Syracuse basketball fans know what that means. Bubble Watch. A big ACC bubble battle went down last night in the Carrier Dome. We'll let you know whose bubble burst and who is staying afloat for a little while longer. Don't go anywhere.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I had something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
After snapping a 2-game losing streak over the weekend with a win against Wake Forest, Syracuse looked to make it 2 wins in a row against another team from North Carolina, the NC State Wolfpack. The game was a pivotal matchup for NCAA tournament hopes. ESPN had the Wolfpack listed as one of the next 4 teams out of the tournament, with the Orange not too far behind them. Early on, Joe Girard getting some shots up, and he would play a big role in this one, but the big story would be Elijah Hughes, the second leading scorer in the ACC, injured himself in warm-ups. He would play a couple minutes and then miss the rest of the game. So it's up to Girard to carry the Orange. He's going to make that one early on. Syracuse with a slim lead, but NC State, like most opponents have done to the Orange, attacked down low. There was a dunk in transition, and then a little bit later, another dunk. NC State up 8 early in this one. But Girard would finally cut into that NC State lead. NC State only up 2 at that point, but then a half-court alley-oop puts the Wolfpack up by 4 at the half, 39-35. In the second half, that's when Joe Girard really starts to take over. He's going to drive, get into the rim. He's going to absorb some contact and gets the bucket. No foul call, but he doesn't need it. And then once again, he's going to drive, hit a tough shot, part of a 30-point career-high performance for the freshman. And finally, someone other than Girard does something for Syracuse. It's Marek Dolezaj. He gets the bucket in the foul. Syracuse up 5, but down the stretch, it's NC State making the plays needed to win this ball game. They're going to take the lead right there on that shot, and then the dagger. CJ Bryce with the 3 puts NC State up 7. They go on to win 79-74 the final, and after the game, Coach Boeheim said he was proud of his team's effort while missing its star.
I thought these guys battled as hard as you could ask them to battle. Joe made some really big plays to keep us in it. Marek got some opportunities. He's just not finishing the way he can. But when you lose your best player, one of the 3 or 4 best players in the league, without being able to practice, it's difficult. But they did everything they could. We got right back in it.
It's still a few days until Syracuse men's lacrosse hits the field again, but the Orange are still receiving some national recognition from a 21-14 victory over Colgate. Last Friday, redshirt senior attack Stephen Rafis has been named to the United States Intercollegiate Lacrosse Association Team of the Week. Rafis tallied 8 points against Colgate, including 7 assists. He becomes just the 10th player in school history to record 7 or more assists in one game. Rafis and the rest of the Orange will be back in action on Saturday when Syracuse hosts Binghamton. However, one player who will not be playing for the Orange this weekend, preseason All-American defender Nick Mellon. The senior appeared to suffer a lower body injury against Colgate, and earlier today, head coach John Desko confirmed Mellon is week to week and will not play versus Binghamton. Here's the head coach talking about the impact Mellon's absence will have.
Yeah, it's it's always going to be an adjustment. You've got somebody that's been your top cover guy for a number of years now, and that was always a comforting thing that Nick could most times go out and take the other team's best attackman out of the game. But Kennedy's been getting better and better, and we're going to look at. We've got to go week by week now, and we've got to find some other guys and rotate them down low. So it hurts our depth there some.
Now, Sean, after games like last night, I've given up on Syracuse men's basketball, and football wasn't that great either. No. So does this injury mean that the lacrosse season is going to be tough too?
Well, thankfully, this injury does not sound that serious, and they're playing a team in Binghamton, which is not, frankly, all that good. So if he can just sit out, get a little healthy, I think they'll be fine. This team still has plenty of talent, from Chase Scanlon to Stephen Rafis, we heard about, made the national team. So I think lacrosse will still be fine down the stretch.
All right, thank you so much. That's all we have for sports. We'll be right back with your wake-up weather after the break. Stay tuned.
I already knew that I was going to go to college, from a young age. I definitely want to major in political science, become the mayor or something, make the situation better for other people. My name is Justin, and I am your dividend.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. This is a serious problem, but one we can solve. Visit feedingamerica.org to help. Together we can solve hunger. Together we're feeding America.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course.
When they test you, stand firm and move only when you hear the seatbelt click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Hey, Hard, what's this? That's my resignation letter. You're resigning? Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you get stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit. I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me. Okay. But remember, it's not what you say. It's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
We're now joined by our weather anchor, Walker Simmons. And Walker, this morning was great. Do we have the same hope for tomorrow morning?
Sadly, no. So tomorrow morning you're going to wake up, and actually that's when you're going to see the most amount of snow for Thursday. It'll continue all the way through Thursday, but 100% AM snowfall on Thursday. It's actually 33 degrees too. So what we've seen, it's not the coldest, but it's still cold. You're definitely going to need your winter jacket and your boots. About 1 to 3 inches in the morning, but that will build up as the day progresses.
And looking ahead to our Valentine's Day weekend, is it going to be just snowing all weekend long, or how's that looking?
Actually, Valentine's Day weekend won't be that much snow. However, Friday is when we're going to see it get really cold. Low of 5 degrees, and the real feel will be 10 degrees less, so we'll actually see the real feel in the negatives. So Friday's going to be your coldest day within these next couple of days. Saturday actually looks fairly nice. You got some sun in there, and then Sunday, heavier cloud coverage, and that'll clear up just a little bit going into Monday.
All right, and are you a dog person? Then you'll wag your tail at this news. A poodle has won Best of Show at the annual Westminster Dog Show. 3-year-old Siba, the poodle, took home Best in Show last night at the Westminster Kennel Club.
This is the 10th time a poodle has taken home the top spot at the Westminster Dog Show, but the crowd at Madison Square Garden had a different fan favorite, a golden retriever. So just even though the golden retriever didn't win, they're all good boys, I think. They look fantastic.
A lot of big fluffy hair, but I used to have a golden, so personally, I think I'm a golden person, and I get where they're coming from.
Absolutely, and I definitely relate to this poodle. That's my hair in the morning, honestly. I mean, I feel like for this time it was intentional, but usually you have to try and combat it down. Do you ever have that issue?
I mean, in the morning, no, my hair doesn't get that crazy. When it comes to dogs, I'm a big lab guy, so I kind of fall within that retriever range.
That's fair. That's fair. That's all the time we have for you on Citrus TV News. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and Instagram for all of the latest content. I'm Carmella Boykin.
And I'm Gabrielle Caracciolo. Have a great night, Syracuse.